What are adjusting entries? Adjusting entries are changes to journal entries that you've already made. Adjusting journal entries are made to record either expenses that have been incurred but not recorded, or revenue earned but not recorded. There are 4 types of adjusting entries. These consist of deferred revenue, deferred expenses, accrued revenue, and accrued expenses. An example of an adjusting entry would be if you billed a customer $1,000 in June for building services that you'd performed, and the customer paid you in July. As this adjusting entry is for accrued revenue, the money would be recorded in accounts receivable in June, and then in July this would be recorded as cash received. As you can't edit past journal entries, an adjusting entry is required to record this revenue. Accrual accounting requires adjusting entries as it records expenses when incurred and records revenue when earned. Another example of an adjusting entry would be if a farming company bought a tractor for harvest in August. The farmer paid cash for this tractor, which is an asset. Unfortunately, the tractor depreciates in value at a rate of 5% per annum. The tractor was initially purchased for $100,000 and in a year had depreciated by $5,000. To illustrate this, in August of the first year, we would credit cash and debit the tractor for the price paid for the tractor. In August the following year, we would debit depreciation expense and credit accumulated depreciation, the $5,000 that the tractor had lost in value. Depreciation expenses are classified as deferred expenses, as the cash is paid before the expense is incurred. Whilst I've not illustrated accrued expenses and deferred revenue, the process is very similar to the 2 examples given, just using different accounts. Adjusting entries will affect at least one revenue or expense account depending upon their classification. Adjusting entries will also impact one asset or liability account. Cash will never be increased or decreased as an adjusting entry due to the timing of revenue and expense recognition.